going on, y'all? This is OBB, the Diecast News Guy, and today I'm going to do another classic Diecast review for you guys, and you know what that means. It's going to be a Team Caliber NASCAR Diecast review, so if you guys are enjoying these types of reviews, so this one definitely is one that is definitely going to be in the books as as you guys know, I'm a big fan of these types of cars, and the sponsor today is going to be on Jerry Nadeau's 2003 U.S. Army Camouflage Pontiac Grand Prix. Yeah, guys, 2003 was the last year we had the Pontiacs and for a manufacturer for NASCAR. Even though they technically could still been around for another 2 more years, but they left early, which is pretty unfortunate because I know a lot of people who miss the Pontiacs. And I know the Pontiacs are pretty much famous for the Joe Gibbs racing cars with Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte. But hey, it was cool seeing Nadeau drive this car. They have, of course, we are going to be talking about Jerry Nadeau, because 2003 was such such a hectic year for this guy. But with all that aside, guys, I love the packaging on this. Really cool. Love the the Army 01 car. Just something that I just grown to love, especially me growing up in the U.S. Army. This car always has a soft spot for me, and hopefully it will for you guys when we get on to the unboxing and the official diecast review of Jerry Nadeau's 2003 U.S. Army Camouflage car. Alrighty, guys, we got this diecast out of its box, and man, I tell you what, if you guys are a big fan of the U.S. Army cars, this one is definitely a must-get. But they had a lot of different variations of this car, guys. They had like a Winter Circles version and an Action Racing Collectibles version, and I think Racing Champions too. So, but of course, I got the Team Caliber one, which my only gripe out of this paint scheme is how the Go Army logo is kind of hard to read on the back, but you see the back bumper does not have taillights. There's no sponsors on the pillars, and also on the side, on the front sides of this car too. But other than that, that's basically what makes a Team Caliber diecast a Team Caliber diecast. But hey, I kind of like these things, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, guys, the 01 driven by Jerry Nadeau. 2003, man, this is the season that Jerry Nadeau was supposed to have a nice, relaxed season, because the year prior to that, guys, 2002 was such a crazy year for Jerry Nadeau, guys. I believe he might have run full-time, I think, but like he basically just played car swap for many different teams. So he started off with Henry Motorsports in 2002 for like the first few races, and I think he went to actually this team I'm showing you guys right here, but they were called, instead of MB2 Motorsports, they were called MBV Motorsports. I'm trying not to get that confused with MVP. This ain't the NFL, Brian. And then he went to Petty Enterprises. I think he also he made another start in another team that I actually just forgot on the top of my forehead. But yeah, he ran into 4 different teams, guys. And that was just pretty crazy and pretty hectic for this guy. Watch, I'll probably know by the end of this video. Be like, oh, I know what the other 4th team was. But there's just a lot to remember about this guy. Because you know what, man? when he got that first career cup win, his one and only win, because we're about to get to, the tragic stuff in a second. So, yeah, when he won that 2000 race with Henry Motorsports at Atlanta, that was just something else, man. That was really cool. And I know there's a lot of Jerry Nadeau fans, including Brock Beard. He's a big Jerry Nadeau fan. So I'm going to do everything I can to provide as much information as I can. But if you guys want to learn more about Jerry Nadeau, definitely check out Brock Beard's a documentary about him, because he was a big fan of him, and I saw that documentary, and that was really cool. And I'm glad I finally am reviewing a diecast of this guy, because let me tell you what, man. The 2003, man, this was, he ended up, I believe he did not actually, he was supposed to run this car, and he actually got one top 5 in the 01 U.S. Army car, which was at Texas, finishing 4th, so it looked like things were promising. And then we go to Richmond during a practice session where he was leading. The tragic incident that happened at Richmond during one of the practice sessions. I think it was final practice or something. So Jerry Nadeau was leading the session coming out for practice at Richmond, and he lost control of the car, and basically I think coming to turn 1 he ended up getting loose, lost control of the car head on into turn 1, and that was that wreck, man, was pretty ambitious. Heck, they literally had to the medical crew was there right on time, and they literally had to cut Jerry Nadeau's car off just to get him out, and he had to get airlifted, once that happened, I knew something wasn't right. Something was not right. I mean, of course, they didn't really show that much footage about that because, it's pretty damn disturbing. And I'm not really going into further more details than that, but it was definitely career ending for Jerry Nadeau. The injuries were just so substantial that he basically had to go through physical therapy. He had so many injuries. I think, like the whole left side of his head or something like that just wouldn't work, or his body, and he had to go through like so much physical therapy after that incident. I think Jason Keller had to take over the 01 car, and there were so many other drivers that basically kind of what Jerry Nadeau did. He kind of flipped around and went through different teams. There were so many different drivers that went to the 01, like what I think like Boris Said and Mike Wallace, and I think a couple other guys. Mike Skinner, I think, as well. You guys remember him? And eventually we went on to a Joe Nemechek. Joe Nemechek was the driver of the 25 car at the time, but eventually he took over the 01 car in the following year in 2004. And I think that's where a lot of people mostly were. That's definitely where I remember the 01 car. I kind of forgot about the tragedy with Jerry Nadeau because I kind of wanted to forget about it because it was just so tragic at the time. But hate to keep talking about it, guys, but just I'm glad Jerry Nadeau has made a great recovery. I mean, I know he's probably still not the same as he was before because I know he wants to go out there and race, but just after he was able to succumb to his difficult process to get back up rolling. I mean, definitely gotta give him some credit for what he did, though. I mean, it's not easy coming from that, because shit, I think the doctors told him that he had like a 6% chance of living. And let me tell you what, man, that right there has just got to be some scary shit to hear. And I'm just glad, he's, he was able to make a great recovery, and it's just a damn shame. I think he definitely had a lot of potential, guys. We definitely see a lot of great sparks in him in his career, especially with that Atlanta win. Things were looking good for Jerry Nadeau, guys, but it just shows you just how dangerous, stock car racing is. And, it might not look like a bad hit, but, once you see, it's not a good hit when you do not see a guy coming out of that car. It's not, all right? And I can do that with every race I go to. And sadly, I have been to races that I've witnessed fatalities. Not with NASCAR, but with IndyCar. But it's on the same level, guys. Just racing is dangerous. And you just got to learn to just accept that, guys. And we got some sort of date right here. It says an Army of One. So, yeah, if you guys are going to a more lighter note, if you guys are wondering what that means, an Army of One, that's basically how the U.S. Army car was basically made. I think in the early 2000s when MB2 Motorsports first started, but they went by so many different names, so I'm just going to call them MB2. But for any of the newer fans out there, you guys might know them as Gin Racing. Yeah, that the 01 basically just stands for an Army of One. So they went with 01 because the one car was already taken by us DEI at the time. So they went with 01, and it's kind of stick with them for quite a while. And we've had a lot of great drivers, drive the 01 car throughout various years. And you know what, man? I would love to see a throwback of the U.S. Army car for the 01 car one of these days. I think it just looks cool. And for anybody who's a big Army fan, I definitely would recommend picking up one of these diecasts. I mean, I already picked up, a Mark Martin car, guys, and heck, I might have to pick up a Joe Nemechek. I might have to pick up a Joe Nemechek one down the road because just so many great memories in this car, and especially with this. I mean, this is one of those rare occurrences where we had, Team Caliber make a Pontiac car, which, Team Caliber usually makes, like the Ford diecast with Roush, but they did it with this, and I think they did a decent job. I mean, it does look weird with the bulky body style, but, man, these Pontiac Grand Prix, man, they were severely underrated, but these things look really damn cool. Fun fact, that was actually my first car, actually, a 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix. It was like a project car I worked on, so how about that, guys? That was OBB's first car, and it was red, too, just like my channel colors, so definitely have a lot of soft spots on that. But yeah, I hope you guys, I think that's gonna wrap it up right here on this diecast review of Jerry Nadeau's 01 U.S. Army Camouflage Pontiac Grand Prix for MB2 Motorsports. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, guys, and yeah, I'm hoping I can find some more unique diecasts down the road, as I'm hoping you guys enjoy these diecast reviews, and I will hopefully once everything gets back rocking and rolling, I'll be providing you guys some more diecast reviews later down the road. And until we meet again, this has been OBB. See you guys next time on another diecast review.